really nice to see you this morning. This morning we're going to start a new series about some pictures that God uses in the Bible of what Jesus is like. And we're going to start with thinking about Jesus saying that he's the Good Shepherd and why that's wonderful for us, his sheep, who follow him. Nellie's going to be helping me out in a little bit as well, pretending to be a sheep. So firstly, let's look at a bit of the Bible from the Gospel of John, which Caitlin and Lauren are going to read for us. And as they read it, listen out for two things that the Good Shepherd does or is like. There are more than two things, but just listen out for two of them.
Jesus said, I am the Good Shepherd. I know my sheep, and my sheep know me. The one who enters by the gate is the shepherd of the sheep, and the sheep listen to his voice. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. When he has brought all his own, he goes on ahead of them, and his sheep follow him because they know his voice. But they will never follow a stranger. In fact, they will run away from him because they do not recognize a stranger's voice.
Thanks, girls, that's great. Now we'll pause for just 20 seconds and let's everyone have a chat together at home of two things that Jesus the Good Shepherd is like. Hopefully you've managed to think of a few things, and I know the girls have. So girls, can you help us out? What does the Bible say Jesus the Good Shepherd is like?
I spotted he knows his sheep and he calls each of his sheep by name.
Great. And what about you, Lauren?
He leads his sheep out and then goes ahead of them.
Great, that's really helpful, girls, thanks. So here we get a little bit of an idea of what a good shepherd is like. And Jesus is saying he's like the best shepherd ever. So he knows all of his sheep by name and he calls them by name. Now, I looked up some common sheep names online, and we can imagine the Good Shepherd calling each of his sheep by name. So come on, Ella, this way, Frosty, let's go, Luna, this way, Fluff Fluff, and come on, Buttercup. The Good Shepherd will know everything about his sheep. He'll know which ones are tired, which ones have a sore leg, and which ones are a bit cheeky and naughty. And it's exactly the same with Jesus being our Good Shepherd. He knows the name of each one of us who are following him as his sheep, and he knows exactly what we're like. And the Bible tells us here that he goes ahead of his sheep and leads them, a bit like the picture of this shepherd here on the screen. And Jesus is doing that for each one of us. He leads us and we get to follow him. So our next quick question to chat about at home is, what do the sheep know or do? If we just have 20 seconds to think about this at home, can we think of two things that the sheep know or do in this Bible passage? Hopefully you've managed to think of a few things together at home, and I know Caitlin and Lauren have. So girls, can you help us out? What does the Bible say the sheep do or know?
So the sheep, they know the shepherd's voice, and since they know his voice really well, if they hear the wrong voice and it's not his voice, then they will know it's a stranger and they will run away.
Exactly. What about you, Lauren? Have you spotted anything as well?
They will always follow the shepherd and listen to him because they recognize his voice, and if they don't recognize his voice, they know it's a stranger and they will run away, like Caitlin said.
Brilliant. Thanks, girls. That's really helpful. Now let's keep thinking about what it's like for us to follow Jesus as our Good Shepherd. To help us understand this, Nellie's going to help out. I know she's a dog and not a sheep, but I think she'll still be able to help us imagine what it's like for sheep to follow a shepherd. So Nellie knows my voice and she follows me when I call her and when I go somewhere. However, she doesn't know Josiah's voice and she doesn't seem that keen on following him when he calls her. Let's have a watch together. Nellie, come. Can you see how she's just walking along behind me because she knows my voice and she loves me? Nellie, come. Good girl. Good girl. Nellie, come. Good girl. Come on, Nellie. Come on. Come on, Nellie. Come on. So why is this good news for us today that Jesus is our good shepherd? Well, we can enjoy knowing his voice and following him as his sheep. And how wonderful that he leads us. If you noticed when Nellie was following me, she loved it. She knows that I'll look after her and lead her to good places. And that's how we can feel when we follow Jesus. We know that he will lead us to good places, but most of all, we just enjoy being with him and following him and recognizing his voice. So the more we know Jesus' voice and the more we recognize him, the more we can enjoy following him and enjoy being with him as our good shepherd. And that's great news for us as we start another week. The girls are going to pray a prayer for us now, so let's pray together.
Dear Jesus, thank you that you help us follow in your footsteps, and that we will soon turn into a sheep, and you're the shepherd, and that we will follow you. Amen. Dear God, thank you that your son made sure that his sheep would follow them, and that they recognized him and not any other strangers. Thank you that you help us in everything. Amen.
Great, thanks girls. So for each slot like this, we'll have a craft to make at the end. And this week, why not try making a shepherd at home and write some things on that we know about the Good Shepherd? If you send me pictures of your shepherds at home, then I'll show them as part of the slot next week. There's going to be a few questions that appear on the screen now, so we'll take a few minutes to think and chat about them at home together.